Listen, the first thing I will say about this show is that it's very captivating and very mysterious. So it gets you right on it from the very first episode, and I loved that about this. So the show is basically about the severance procedure. Is It's a surgical procedure that employees at Lumon Industries get for separating their work life and their you know real life. So they do this surgical procedure. I won't get into exactly how it's done and why and the details of it, because that's part of the mystery of the show. So I'll just not talk about that in detail. But it's basically that, and the premise of the show is based on that. And also, it's basically a workplace comedy satire plus thriller. It doesn't feel like it's a satire, it doesn't feel like it's a full-blown thriller too. So I love that this I love the genre, and I just love that both these genres came together to create this. And apparently, the creators try to get this, running off the ground since 2017. So there's been a lot of years for them to develop this, and I can see the results being, really good because of that. So I'm just loving the mystery of the show. The Just the atmosphere of the show is also so good. I love when the thriller aspect of the show is so captivating that it keeps you tuning in every single week without needing to have any major, um, major reveals at the end of each episode or something like that. But even without that, it's so good, even without cliffhangers or any sort of reveals. So yeah, basically, this show got me really interested from the trailer itself, and a friend recommended it to me, so I started watching, and I just could not stop. I think Apple TV, as we've been saying, these past few months, that Apple TV is doing a really good job at these TV shows that are Apple TV originals, and they have been keeping the quality up, and it just shows that they still have great content, but unfortunately, not everyone is watching. Um, so that's the only downside to their shows. So that's the reason they're probably not that popular. But this show is fantastic. I just keep thinking about what could be that they're working on or stuff like that, which is very interesting to me because of how the show presents the theories itself to us without revealing anything. And there's this sort of mystery with the main character Mark, that we see his life outside of work as well. So that character is also present in the show, but the outside Mark and the inside Mark are two different people, are like two different people, because of the severance procedure. So it's very interesting how that it gets you thinking as well, how that can affect your life. Is it good? I mean, in real life, would it be a good thing to have? Would it be destructive? Some people might find it very good for themselves. Some people might not be as accepting of it. Some people, might just reject the very notion of this concept, as this show also presents. So I'm very interested in that stuff as well, because it's a philosophical thing there, and you know it just um, it just keeps you to think about what it just keeps you to think about what could be the thing about this. One second. What's happening, Mar? Okay, and it's gone. All right. So anyway, yeah. So it's a very good show. I am really loving the show so far, and the main cast is pretty good. Uh, they all do fantastic job at separating their work self and their outer self as well. So yeah, I would highly recommend it for you to watch it. Definitely, only 3 episodes are out, and all 3 of them are amazing. Episode 3 has some of the most phenomenal editing I've seen so far in a TV show or in a movie, whatever, because of how, firstly, because of how the episode was paced, but secondly, also because there's some scenes where they transition between 2 different locations and stuff, and that was very, very well done. Like, they was perfectly done, and I just, I just loved the editing of episode 3.
Okay, Severance. Okay, I didn't get to hear anything KC said, but I'm sure it was it's going to be more or less the same what I'm saying right now. This show is kind of reminds me of The Matrix in a way, in terms of the thought provoking. Well, I had so many theories after this, and I was kind of having discussions with myself. What does it mean? We're 3 episodes in. We don't have a clue what it means right now. You know, we have Adam Scott's character, who again is a comedic actor tackling this dramatic side, and he's doing a fantastic job. And I'm a huge Ben Stiller fan, who's directing this show. Most of the episodes, him and another person, but I think he directed the first 3. And I love Ben Stiller's directing style. Usually, I think he's a very underappreciated and underrated director. And I think what he's done the last few years to rebuild his career with Escape at Demoro, which is a very good show about these group of prisoners who escape this prison. It's a true story, really good show. Patricia Arquette, who's in this, is also in that series. And he kind of, not Deadpool, Zoolander 2 didn't do well at the box office at all. It kind of hurt his career on the comedic side of things. But he said he's glad that kind of happened, because he gets to tackle this side of his career that he always wanted to do, which is these kind of these dramas. And I think he's underappreciated, because The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is one of the best films in the last 20 years. And I love that movie so much. But here, you have these characters who work at Lumen Industries. Their memories are 50-50, cut in half. So they go to work, this chip activates the back of their head, and they don't remember their personal life. And the same when they go home, they don't remember their work life. So it's an interesting, very original concept. And the reason it reminds me of The Matrix, and I also think there's a lot of parallels, KSC, to The Matrix, because there's a cookie that's in it. Did you notice that?
Yep.
And there's also that kind of when Agent Smith's able to take over another agent or another person, this kind of black kind of tar element that's kind of in this series as well. And the opening credits are actually very haunting and brilliantly done.
Yeah.
And they're kind of, Peacemaker didn't make you want to skip the credits because it was fun. It was cool to see the characters dancing. This one doesn't want you to skip the credits either, because of how well it's done and how weird it is. And
And there are clues about what's happening in the series, in
I
the
think
future
so.
episodes in the intro.
I think so, yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff there to go deep to, and I think the show is fascinating. I think it really is, and I think we're the only people in the world that watch Apple TV stuff because we're always talking about them on the series. I go to YouTube, I'm trying to look up Severance reviews, and there's barely any.
Yeah.
And with most of the Apple TV shows, and like so many theories. I don't know what this company is trying to do with these people, why they're doing this. And there's also people who are not Severance. Patricia Arquette's character is not. She knows what she's doing in her real life and at work. And the same with that other kind of character that's kind of the branch manager or something who can watches them, the other character. So there is characters who work at this company who don't have the procedure done to them that we know of. Maybe there's another higher up procedure that they have done. Maybe, I don't know. But on the surface right now, it's only these characters who are doing these jobs every day, and they don't even know what they're doing. There's these numbers, and they're told you're supposed to take out the scary numbers and put them into the box. Like, what's going on here? And then there's this kind of there's this character who they reference as kind of the owner or the creator of this
CEO.
company, the CEO, yeah. And there's a statue of him, and there's a statue of past CEOs as well. So there's a lot of shady shit going on right now, and there's one character, of course, who broke that kind of procedure in a way because he was able to remember his work life. That's in the first episode as well. We're kind of revealed to that character, and we get to see the kind of the side effects he goes through in the episodes 2 and 3. So it's a really original concept, and I really wish people would watch this. Now, that's not to say that they're going to stick the landing, because we don't know what the big thing is, but I hope they keep some mystery to it by the end of the season. But I also hope they answer some questions as well. I actually think this show has the potential to go on for numerous seasons, because there's so much layers, not just story wise, but character wise. We don't know much about all the characters. Like John Turturro's character seems very interesting. Christopher Walken makes an appearance in this, which is fantastic, and he looks great. I haven't seen him in a movie or a show in a while, and he looks like he did 10 years ago. He looks fantastic. Patricia Arquette as well. Yes, there's a great cast here, great personnel, and I'm very excited to see what happens in the next coming episodes, because I don't think there's a show like this out there, and that's why it reminds me of The Matrix, because there was nothing like The Matrix for a while, and I don't think there's anything like this show. I think there's parallels to the two. I think there's a lot of reflection on our society in terms of work, in terms of our personal life. So I'm looking forward to going in deeper to this, because if you watch the characters closely when they're in the work environment, of course, they don't know anything about their personal lives. You see a sadness in their eyes. You see this broken person. I think in a way they do remember what's going on in their personal life, because Adam Scott's character, the reason he took on this procedure and wanted to do it is because he was depressed. His wife died, and he wanted to escape 8 hours a day. Why are the other characters there? Why did they choose to do it? How are they getting people to do this? And then we kind of have protests as well, with people protesting this procedure. So there's so much to explore. I think it's 8 or 9 episodes altogether. I don't know how they're going to explain it all.
I really hope that they don't they don't fuck up the ending, because I'm really loving the show so far, and I think it's really one of the best shows even until now. And I hope they stick the landing, because that's really important. If this first season at least has to be one of the greatest. So if they stick the landing, then it definitely is in the conversation for that.
Yeah, there's so many questions already after 3 episodes. And the other way, like, they only released 2 episodes. Like, usually these streaming services release 3. I'm glad they didn't release the third one together, because the third one kind of doesn't give a lot away, but it gives some away. You know? And so I do like this week-to-week discussion, and I think Ben Stiller's doing a fantastic. Ben Stiller as a director, if you notice in his shots, everything matters in his shot, because he's trying to convey something. And at the moment, you don't really know what he's trying to convey, because we don't know what the bigger picture is. But if you look closely, there's stuff in those frames that's very important, and the shots are very haunting as well, because the hallways of this company is so, they're long hallways. The color as well.
The office itself is a character.
It is. It really is. And also that picture, there's kind of I don't think it's a real picture, but there's a picture of the CEO, and he has a whip, and he's whipping a kind of a goat man or something like that. Like, what does that mean? I think there's so much to read into this. And I don't know if many channels or many people will read in deeper to this, because it's not on Netflix, because it's not on HBO Max, because Apple TV, for me, makes the best quality content in terms of the camera work, in terms of just the scripts. They're all maybe A's. But I think this show deserves that kind of approach, and this kind of I think it deserves attention. And hopefully, as the weeks go on, more people get interested, more people talk about it, because I think there's something special here. Hopefully.
Yeah, I do so too.